I mean, there's a lot of things that I do to decompress. I have a new thing though. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes.
It's a little risque. So I found
We can mute it if we have to.
oh my gosh. So I bought this new speaker for my shower. It has been the best investment I have ever made. So now this isn't a joke. I take 2 showers a day just so I can blare the music and dance. I mean, it works. I could wake up tired and groggy. I throw that on. I have, like 5 songs that I really love. Put them on. It's sometimes I don't even wash. Sometimes I just stand in there, like it's so much fun. So that's my new tool.
Welcome back to another episode of the Health Tech and Wellness Podcast. So glad that you're joining us today. I'm back here at my home studio, still with Crystal. We are another week in, and as you already know, last week we talked about those New Year's resolutions and how they probably aren't going to work. So hopefully you've taken some of that advice and, started to work for you, and you've done some right things to make sure that they are going to work. And I would love to hear from you in the comments if you've taken some of the advice from episode 1 and you've started to run with that. But let's go into episode 2 here, where we're going to talk about those bills that are coming in and the stress that maybe not even the bills, just stress that's building up in our lives. And in the meantime, where do you go? What do you do? What is the things that you need to do to decompress? That quiet space, that place that you go to in your mind. And probably even better yet, how can we avoid those things? How can we not have to worry about that to begin with? But we all know those things happen. Life isn't perfect. So when those do happen, what do? Do we blow up? Or, as I talked in the very last episode of last season, episode 38, I talked about breathing. Do you stop? Do you take that breath? Do you, 4 seconds in, hold it for 2, 6 seconds out? Do you breathe? Do you stop? Do you walk? Get up and walk around? So we're going to get into a lot of those things today. So welcome back again, Crystal. Episode 2. I hope you kind of enjoyed recording episode 1.
Dude, it was fun. Very fun.
So let's dive right into the topic this week. Enough about you. Let's dive into the topic. So this was kind of something that when we were talking about topics, you kind of threw at me at the very beginning, like, hey, this would be a great topic to talk about. So I'm going to kind of let you kind of jump into it. Tell me kind of from your perspective, how do we kind of avoid those situations? But when we do, what are some healthy things that you do, or maybe things that you've learned that don't quite work?
So what I do when I'm stressed, I do many things, but sometimes my surroundings are really important to me. Since I was a young child, like I would go to the water. I've always lived by the water, by Lake Erie. So I've always went to the water, and that was like my peace and my serenity. So water is really important to me. Journaling is really important to me. Exercise is really important to me. Like to decompress, like exercising is the best thing. Like, and I mean like a high fun exercise, not just taking a little tiny walk, but like really getting it at it, moving your body, getting excited, getting the dopamine flowing, that sort of exercise. I enjoy reading. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I do to decompress. I have a new thing though. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes.
It's a little risque. So I found
We can mute it if we have to.
oh my gosh. So I bought this new speaker for my shower. It has been the best investment I have ever made. So now this isn't a joke. I take 2 showers a day just so I can blare the music and dance. I mean, it works. I could wake up tired and groggy. I throw that on. I have, like 5 songs that I really love. Put them on. Sometimes I don't even wash. Sometimes I just stand in there, like it's so much fun. So that's my new tool.
But prime example, those here, like I drive rideshare. So when I don't have a customer in the car and I've got Apple Music, it's the same thing. Music is a huge cure. Sometimes it can be bad depending on what you put on and the mood that you're in. I've got a really good friend that likes to listen to the old school, play the record backwards, your dog comes back, you get your house back, so I wouldn't recommend those when you're in a bad mood. But yeah, if you need that lift me up, music is huge. So that's we I don't trust putting the speaker in the shower. I don't want to get shocked.
Oh, they have these it's for the shower. There's no shocking. And I mean, maybe some people need to be shocked.
No, that's huge. I I definitely listen to music to decompress a lot. I as much as I am on a health kick and a health journey, I the little bit of working out that I do is not enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie. I talk about it on a regular basis. I feel the best I've ever felt when I do work out.
So what don't you like about it then?
The anxiety of knowing I'm about to beat the crap out of myself here for the next hour. I've never found a fun exercise. I do it because I have to. I need to move.
Okay, well, we need to work out together one day because I'll show you that it can be so fun. Like I feel like I know those people in the TV. Like I'm laughing with them. It's a good time.
So you're doing the Pilates classes and the yogas.
No, like my new thing that I did, I just started this walking thing. It's like a miracle walk. But the thing is like you're moving and she's laughing and she's having conversation. It's fun. You don't even know the 40 minutes is gone, and you're like, wait, I want to watch it again.
Walking, I could do. Listen, I could do walking. I put on music, or I can throw on a show that's just a show of mine and put it on my phone and walk for that. That is fine. That I could do. It's the true like lifting weights where I feel amazing when I'm done. It's the best feeling in the world. You come out and you're like, man, I'm so glad I did that. Going in, I'm like,
So maybe it's because you don't have a goal.
I have a goal.
I mean, a goal for that specific workout. I don't mean like a long-term goal.
Make it a competition.
Yes. Bingo.
I like it.
You have to have a competition. When I worked out solid for that 5 years and I went every single day, it was a competition. I couldn't wait to get up in the morning. Like that alarm would go off at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I was like, yes, I'm going to beat that time today. Yes.
I like that. I'm going to have to steal that. So, see, we talked about in last episode learning from each other. I'm going to have to steal that because I'll be honest, like I do. You feel so amazing when you're done, and you're like, man, I feel like when I first started. I'm not going to lie, you're beat, right? Because you're 47 years old and you're moving muscles that you've never moved in years, and you're hurting, and oh, I hate this. But after you do it for a while, you feel amazing. But here's the thing. I still haven't. I'm gonna have to try your.
Telling you it's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself.
Make it a competition because I dread it, and it's kind of like the same dread of going to the dentist. You got to do it.
Right.
I've always been that way. It's just like with the walking. I'll walk all day long. I'll fast pace walk all day long. I have a goal of before I'm 50 or around my 50th or somewhere around. Well, not my 50th. That's November and it's gonna be cold. But when I turn 50, my goal is to be at my goal weight of 160. I've never said this on the podcast. So this is a first for everybody. And I want to do a marathon. Never done one. So maybe Cleveland or something. But I don't run. You put a dog behind me and I will run with the best.
I always say if you put a Snicker in front of my face, I'll run. If I gotta catch the Snicker, my God, I'm getting there.
So yeah, I've got to start speeding up the pace when I'm on the treadmill or walking or running or whatever. But yeah, I've never enjoyed. I've just never been that person. So for me, like the small consistent, that's why Living 95 was such a big thing when I built it. Because, and again, when I say I built it, I stole from a lot of different places. And one of the big ones is Atomic Habits. I mean, those small little things, right? So when I built that and I'm putting everything together and I'm realizing, okay, this is what it's going to take for me. I've tried it for 20 some years and you lose a little bit and you put on 3, 4 times as much, and you lose a little bit and you put on even more. Um, Working out has always been one of the ones that I've always struggled with. I do it because I feel great when I'm done because I have to, but no, I've never enjoyed it. So I'm gonna try your
So
thing. I'm gonna
listen, like this is where this is all about mindset. This is
yeah,
your mindset.
yeah.
You have owned that for how long? It's time to throw it out the window. It's not working for you anymore, right? Just let go of it. I'm telling you, the competition will change it for you. Like once you know that you can drop 2 minutes off of your time, you can, do your incline up by 5%, whatever it is. But it's fun. I was addicted. I love that.
So so well, nobody's gonna know who I'm talking about, but my nephew Ray, you know him. We talked about it. He's very competitive. So I'm just gonna take a book from you and a book from him and start to turn it into a competition, a little self competition. Um, but yeah, it's always been that thing for me that I do it because I have to. I do it because right when you're done, but it's like a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment for me. It always has been. Um, and I guess that's what makes me a real person. I guess we all have flaws. Um, but I know that's something that I need, so I do it. Never enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna try the competition thing. You gotta send me this walking thing that they're motivating you. I'll try that. Um, so on that note, um, besides like in the shower and stuff, because I know for me, like, and Cindy can attest to this. If we're arguing or something stupid's going on, I gotta breathe, right? Uh, we don't as much anymore because we've grown, but you you need that time, right? So what else do you do, or maybe things that you've done in the past that you probably were like, oh, this probably wasn't the healthiest thing for me, right? So what's some things that you can say are healthy ways to when those times happen? We're all human. We're going to get into how to avoid those things here in a moment. But what are some things that you can recommend on top of buying a nice little shocking speaker to put in your shower? But what else?
So I do a movement exercise most mornings. And what that is I'm conscious of my body. I close my eyes and I put on sound music. Sometimes it's meditation music. Sometimes it's a little bit more uplifting. It depends on what I need for the morning. But then I get on my mat and I move my body the way it needs to feel better. What that means is when I get out of bed, I'm stiff. My joints hurt. Maybe my hip hurts. Maybe my knee hurts. Maybe whatever hurts. When my eyes are closed and I'm focused, then I know what I need to work on. I know what I need to stretch. I know what needs more time. I know, it's really just listening to your body. It's taking the time, turning everything off that you have to do, and being present with my own body and knowing what hurts me that day or what needs work. So that's something that's I've practiced for a very, very long time. Probably the last 8 years. I have a yoga mat in my living room permanently and in my bedroom permanently. And when I need those moments, sometimes it's in the middle of the day. Say that I've had like some stress and I'm like, okay, I just need 8 minutes. I'll tell Alexa, set an alarm for 8 minutes. And I'm out of it. I just close my eyes and I listen to my body and I adjust. And you're breathing. The breathing exercise, I do a lot of breathing exercises because it really can decompress your nervous system. And when you're under stress, that's what you need. You need to decompress all of that. But that's really powerful for me. Like that's my morning routine. Like I don't feel whole without that because that kind of prepares me for the stresses of the day. Not only do I do it randomly when I need it or intermittently when I need it, but in the morning it sets the tone for my day. It gives me a chance to kind of just breathe and start fresh.
Yeah, morning routines, well, for me, are huge because I think I've got a little bit of OCD where I need if it gets Cindy will tell you, if my morning routine gets messed up, I I will walk out and forget my glasses.
What's your morning routine? What does yours look like?
So it's like a beginner's yoga. It's more stretching. I can't do the my arm doesn't. So I'm stretching and breathing, just kind of press before I move.
Would you say meditation is the word you're using?
Oh, 100% meditation. Um, but I'll introduce you to it someday, but I like to do something called self-hypnosis. Today's gonna be a good day. Mantras. And I've got a couple that I've got written down, but I like to just, "Okay, today's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna win today." And I'm not saying this out loud, I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm breathing and I'm stretching. Um, that is kind of my going first thing in the morning. My workouts have kind of moved to later in the evening because I get up at 1:30 in the morning. I'm on the road now by 2:30, so I've got an hour to get up, shower, and go. So I do just basic stretching, breathing, thinking, meditation. Then I've got my setup of what I've got to do even in the morning. The order of things, it's
It's a
crazy. It's a
mental
mental,
Yeah.
thing, right?
right?
And I've
And I've
worked on
worked
that.
on that, but, and then when I come home, that's when, okay, the walking, the full get myself healthy workouts. But no, in the morning, it's just meditation, stretching, breathing, and then I move on to things to get.
I have a good thing that I do.
Mhm.
So I envision something exciting. Like I don't know what it is, but I'm always like, oh my gosh, something so great's gonna happen today. I can't wait till that connection, till I have that conversation, till I meet that person, till I create that new thing that I've never done before. So that's anticipation in my mind is a tool I use. And so
So
sometimes I'm so excited at 5 a.m. People probably think I'm nuts. I've already posted something positive on Facebook, but I'm already got my juju going.
that's a big reason why I love my morning motivation videos that I do, because you can get up in the morning, and let's just say it was a rough morning. Let's say it was a bad day yesterday and you're stressed out. I deliver those every morning. Let me rephrase that. There's some mornings I'm just running behind. Things happen. But when I do that, it's not just helping the people that are listening to us right now. It does that. It gets me
It
excited.
helps you.
And it's always something because I'm always trying to think, okay, what would benefit me right now? If this was somebody just giving it to me, what would help me? And usually it comes out really well and it's something that'll help everybody else. Um, but what you were just talking about, that anticipation piece. So I literally so there's a Harvard study that talks about um, the dopamine we've talked about a couple times. Um, think about this. Have you ever bought a brand new whatever, or you're, you're getting some items for your store and you're out looking, whatever. The hunt, the anticipation, build up
Yes,
for that is almost better than once you've got it sometimes.
it's way better.
Exactly. So think about that in our health. Um, and I know we're talking about stress and places to go, but since I'm on this, let's go down this path for a minute. You're that person that really loves. I'll just use chocolate cake. Um, this has worked for me so much during this journey of my life. Think about this. This event is coming up, and there's going to be cake. Here, I hate. We don't have kids. I hated kids' birthday parties. I don't want to go to a kid's birthday party. And I'm like, oh, 3 weeks out, chocolate cake. That thought, you're not craving it now. The thought of it's coming, okay? It's the same thing with anything. You're buying a new car, whatever. That excitement of that buildup, that anticipation is for me, I've learned to it's it, it's kind of like manipulating the chemicals in your brain. And that's where self-meditation really comes in because now you're like you said, you're exciting yourself up, you're hyping yourself up. Today is going to be a great day.
Real quick, we have the ability to A, be happy or B, not be happy. It's our choice. Nobody ever does anything to us. Like, so if you want to live a good life, you have to set out and do things that give you a good life. It's this simple. I mean, and I've taken a long time to learn this, but it's this simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. You know that old saying.
We can either choose to be happy or we can choose to be sad. Nobody does that to us. Same topic that I was talking about the other day with the traps idea, or not trap, triggered. We people don't trigger. We trigger ourselves.
Right. We have to choose to be happy. We really have to choose it. And it's so simple if you really just do it. Like you have to be excited about everything that's good. Everything that's good. And like get excited and be excited and do things that make you excited. If say that you do something, right? Say that you took this walk in this specific place and it was wonderful and you loved it and you talk about it and you want to do it again. Do that more then. If that felt good. If you go over here and you hang out with these people and they don't make you feel good, don't go back. It's that simple. It's clarity, knowing what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy. And let me tell you, those lines get blurred a lot. When you're not present and you're not aware of yourself and your feelings and your emotions, those lines stay blurred. I've been in a situation where my lines have been blurred for so long, it was hard to have any kind of clarity because it's fight or flight at that point. And sometimes, you know, you're in fight or flight. 100%. But once you understand that you're the only one that controls that, like you have the ticket, you have the golden ticket, and you really have to make that choice. It's not easy, but it's so worth it once you understand that. Once you understand that when you go over here, it doesn't feel good and that you don't need to go back, you get it, you know, but it does take a long time because as humans, we want to help everybody. We want to be there for everybody. We want to do the best that we can for everybody. And sometimes in doing that, we are neglecting ourselves. So that is so important to get the clarity. I have been at points in my life where I didn't know what I wanted. Like if you asked me what my next thing was, I had nothing for you. I was completely content in my life, completely content in my life. However, I was very uncontent with my life, very mediocre, kind of standing still. So now that I've got this new clarity, I feel like over the last little bit of time that I could understand now if something feels good, I do more. If it doesn't feel good, I don't do it anymore. And it's just so simple.
It is so easy to be happily miserable.
Amen to that. That is so flipping true.
Yeah. We, as a society, like you said, you want to please everybody. Okay. You've got a friend who might be toxic. And sometimes, and I've been the guilty party of coaxing Cindy to stay in a friendship that was toxic because they were friends forever. Well, the best thing for her was when it ended, right? I've had the same situation, right? So at the end of the day, we don't have to be content being miserable. Sometimes, look, this whole podcast thing, okay? I fought it forever. Like, listen, I've been this miserable. I thought I was happy, like you said. I thought that I was thrilled. I was smoking my cigarettes and my cigars and drinking my whiskeys and eating whatever I want and feeling what I thought was okay, but I was used to my normal being garbage. Then once you're normal, you realize you feel better now. You realize, oh wow, I was a miserable SOB, but I thought I was living the best life possible. I can't believe I thought I felt good. This is what good feels like. And I'm only expecting better as I keep down the journey. And we've completely gotten off
It
topic.
doesn't matter. This is so good.
I love this.
Yeah, it's so good.
So that's one huge thing that I think that all of us need to look at is stop being content, being miserable. What can you do? Not, man, this person is driving me nuts. What can you do?
Well, the thing is, too, is I've dealt with many people. What makes you happy? Do you know that I've asked many people, and one out of every five has no idea what will make them happy. That's important. But because we're so busy working, raising families, helping this person, you know, we don't know what we want anymore. We think we want what comes across our screen. We think what comes across our phone we want. It's gotta, yeah, you gotta sit still and you've got to find out what really makes your heart beat. What excites you? What,
We've all gotten to a point, and this is just the world we live in too. Okay. So bills have increased, the cost of living has increased. Sometimes income hasn't followed that. And we go, okay, Crystal, what will make you happy? Well, I'd love to win the lottery. Okay, look, wouldn't we all? But no, what truly would make you happy? If take money out of the equation.
what would make me happy?
Well, I'm just saying for anybody, right? That's what we got to start looking at.
Right.
And it's not, stop looking at the monetary things, stop looking at the bills, stop looking at all the things that actually make us worry. Take that out of the equation and go, okay, what do I love to do? Is it like you go out and you look for your stones or whatever? Is it bowling? Is it what truly like what is your zen? If that one thing, if you could do it for the rest of your life, what would it be? And if you could answer that question, you're better than 90% of the people out there because you look at somebody and you go, okay, if you could do this one thing for the rest of your life that would just make you so happy, what would it be? Most people could never answer that question.
And that's sad. That's an incredibly sad thing for our world. I was that person once, though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was that person. I was, working 16 hours a day, trying to raise two kids, trying to take care of a household, trying to do all the things. And I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know how to take care of myself. That doesn't come when you're 20. You are, I'm 45 almost, and I still am trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to stay happy, be happy, and do great things. But it's a learning. It isn't till honestly the last 7 to 8 years I slowed down to listen to what I need instead of taking everybody's input and thinking that's what I need. I'll give you a prime example. When I was 21, I bought my first house, right? And it was the silliest thing I ever did. You know why? What it did was it tied me into having to work 12 and 16-hour days, missing my children's sports games, all of these things. For what? When I die, that house is not mine. That house is not mine. Nothing is mine. So I try to reflect on that and how much time that I missed with my children because I've had to pay for that house. Living smaller and being present in my family is more important than any money could be.
So I want everybody listening to take that in right there because that is, yes, I could have fixed my health at the job I had, but that is primarily one of the biggest turning points that saved my life. And I can only give Cindy all the credit for it because she was behind me and backed me and said, I love you more than the money. Don't worry about it. But I was working 12 to 15 hours and I would come home and I would be stressed. I wouldn't want to do anything other than the things that I thought made me happy, which was smoking my cigarette, drink some whiskey, and eat something, right? Um, because I didn't know what was happy. Happy was the bills are paid.
Right.
Oh, I got a promotion at work. That was happy, right? Until literally, and this is why I give Cindy so much credit, and this is why she's my rock. Because as much as yes, okay, you still stress out over things, okay, whatever. But she was brave enough to say, John, and this is going to lead me into what I wanted to talk. I was going to say this for an episode later, but we're already on this topic, so it's going to be part of the stress talk. But the biggest thing was her saying, John, take the leap, take the risk, and go in there and tell him to pound salt and get healthy. I want you. And that saved my life. And then I could work on myself and I could spend the time and I could have the guy that got in my car and gave, and everybody knows the story, so I won't say it a million times, but that gave me the little seed that turned into this. So I know this had to be a stressful moment in your life. And I know that you were talking about the things that you want and knowing that, but you were a nurse. And I'm not, I don't want to know your financial situation at the time, but nurses make decent money and you're secure. You've go in, you do your thing. It's probably hard work. I'm not gonna, I would never want to be a nurse or even an aide at a nursing home. I couldn't do it because my brain would not let me disconnect from the poor people that pass. But you had this great career, this great thing that you did, being, you went through college, you got there, and then you said, nope, this doesn't make me happy. I'm gonna go and lease this empty building down in Vermilion, Ohio, and I'm gonna become Crystal's treasure box, and I'm gonna start my own business. That is something that a lot of people listen. We all talk about it, right? We all say, "I want to do this, I want to do that," but until you take that leap of faith. So, what was that? Because that had to be stressful. That had to be probably the most stressful time of your
To be honest with you, it was the best decision I've ever made for my life. Other than having children, it's my greatest thing. Everybody around me though at that time thought I was nuts. That I'm leaving this security for this job that I don't know if I'm going to make a dollar or not. And so I had this one friend, and her name was Penny, and she was 10 years my senior. And when I told her, let me tell you the whole story real quick. So, real quick, I wanted to get the building. The guy, when I called him, he said it was taken. So I said, okay, well, I don't know anything about business. I have some ideas of what I'd like to do with the space. If it falls through, how about you give me a call? He says, okay, that sounds good. I spent all of my money, paid all my bills off, and he called. I'm not joking you when I tell you I had $250 to my name. I called Penny. I said, what do I do? She said, it doesn't matter what we do. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make this work. We were there 6 days, 6 days of not knowing we were having a business. We opened those doors and people came in and made my dream come true. Like they gave me my rent right there, like just in the first day that I opened. So like once I got past that,
life.
I was like, I can do this. And I mean, I'm not kidding you when I tell you I knew nothing about business. I could save your life 5 times over. But running a business, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know how to run a cash register. I knew nothing. So, I mean, it was a huge leap of faith. So I did do nursing and my business for 6 months, both. And then I had to make a decision because it was either make this successful or go back to nursing full time. And I didn't want to do that. So within the 6 months, I went ahead and made a decision and quit working as a nurse. So now I haven't worked as a nurse now for 13 years. So I've had my business for 13 years, but it was the best decision ever made. And I'm not telling you it's easy, but you know what? Working for someone else isn't easy either. Making someone else thrive isn't easy either. So when you're working hard to make yourself thrive and to support your family and to grow yourself, then it feels different. You can work 12 hours a day and not even be bothered by it.
Because it's your money.
Right.
Well, besides Uncle Sam.
Right, right.
But okay. So, um, on that note, then, so if you were to give a piece of advice to somebody right now that's at that crossroad, they're stressed out at their job. They thought for years this is where they're supposed to be. This is what they're supposed to be doing, and they're at that crossroads where, man, this is just not working out. Or some companies are closing. AI is becoming a huge thing, and it's taking people's jobs. So people right now, if they're at that crossroad and they've got a dream, they've got a vision, and but they're afraid to take that leap of faith. Now, we know before let's do a PSA real quick before we go too far. Not all dreams are going to, but if you are strong enough and if you are willing to truly
Put in the work.
put in the work, 95% of them will succeed. But you have to put in the work. You have to you can't here, I'll give you an example, and you live this. Now, I I like to say I work for myself, but I drive rideshare. So, yes, I still work for Uber or work for Lyft, but either way, I don't punch a clock.
Right.
I have to get out of bed. I have to motivate myself to get dressed, to breathe, to relax, to do my meditation, to get going so I can go out and pick up people and take them to the airport or wherever. I don't have somebody who says, "John, you didn't come in today. Hey, John, here's your write-up because you were sick yesterday." I have to be motivated to do that as I'm building the business on the Amplify side where I'm gonna hopefully, get a couple people where I'm gonna be doing some editing. That's again, I have to force myself to do that. So, for a person who's at that crossroad that's ready to, "Okay, I've either gotta stick with this or I've got to make my dream happen." Is there a piece of advice that you could say, "This is what I" biggest piece of advice you could.
A successful business is only one that you build with your heart. And that's it. That's the only word of advice I have. If your business isn't in alignment with your heart, it's probably not going to make it. So it has to really be deep within you. Like you have to know inside of you and believe in yourself and know, like, no matter what, I'm going to make this work. So as long as you understand that you have to be able to believe in yourself, you have to make quick decisions and you have to go out on a limb. You have to have faith, period. Faith is number one. You know,
And followed by faith, and not to get biblical or religious or anything because we don't do that on this show, but give yourself some grace. Everybody talks about faith and grace in the religious sense. No, you need faith that you're gonna do it, and you need grace when things happen. You can't go, "Man."
self compassion is the same thing as grace. So if you don't like the word grace, self compassion works too. It's just being good to ourselves. Yeah, it's all it is.
Understanding that it's not gonna always go your way, but guess what? As long as you're making small improvements each time.
What do they say about that though? About I can't remember the saying exactly, but it was saying how regret weighs so much more.
I know the saying too, and I can't think of it, but yeah, you it takes more energy to regret not doing what you need to do.
What would it be if you did it and you failed?
So what, right?
I tried. But what if you never did it? You live with that regret for the rest of your life that you never did it. And it doesn't even have to be about a business. It could be anything in your life that you truly feel in your heart that you should be doing. Whether it's volunteering your time, helping X, Y, and Z become, it's of all things.
At the end of the day, the only advice that should matter is you and your significant other. That's it. Don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people who are probably going to go, "Oh, you're doing the wrong thing," and then turn around, the guts to do
Right.
that. You know what I mean? So, listen, all that matters is you and your significant other. If you don't have one, then just you. But stop listening to the naysayers.
Well, they say
Take that leap of faith.
you should follow your dreams silently because there are so many people that won't support you and that will bring negativity to the. I was blessed. I had Penny, and she was like my guiding light. Her and her daughter helped me. We were pounding holes in things in the middle of the night, trying to make displays out of this, that, and the other. So, I mean, she really was like my rock at that point. It really was like, you can do this. This is you. You're meant to do this. I was making $200 a day at work selling stuff. People would come to me and say, "Hey, can you do this, that?" I go, "I don't know. Let me try." So she knew that it was my heart. It wasn't just something that I wanted to do. It was like literally ingrained in me at that point.
That's awesome, and that's one big thing. And we completely went off tangent for this week, so we can always revisit where we were going. But I think this was a big one. Is don't regret the things that you didn't do. Live for the things that you're gonna do. I think.
Live for the things you're going to do. I like that.
But my brain doesn't stop. But no, live for the things you're gonna do. Don't regret what you didn't do. Don't regret the things that you could do. Live for what you're going to do. Take into this year and think about what's the thing that's going to make me happy. Whatever that is, shoot for it. Write it down, make it real. Journaling is so huge. If you don't do it, pick up a journal. Apple has it on their phone. If you're an old school person like you, Crystal, write it down, but make it real. Commit to it.
Sometimes with journaling, things come out that you never knew were coming. You never knew you even felt that way. Honestly, sometimes when I journal in the morning, I go back and I read it and I go, "What? Get out of here."
That's why there's always great to have that reflection at the end of the
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Go back because you're going to look at it, man. Sometimes you have that week. It feels like the worst week in the world. And you look back and you're like, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
Yeah, it was actually pretty doggone good. I had a lot more positives than negatives. So the biggest thing is stop regretting. Look at this year. If there's something you need to do that you want to do, that you've dreamed of doing, if it's something that'll truly make you happy, do it. I think that's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you coming out of this episode. And I think that this is meant for somebody because this is not what we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about where to go when you're stressed. And now we're talking about all the good things that you're going to do because you're going to take that positive energy, you're going to move it into what are the things that make me happy? And I'm going to make them happen.
And on that note, I think a really good practice that I also do that might help somebody is being grateful. Before bed, this is something I practiced this 5 years ago, but you just start with two things if you can't find anything else. And they could be something as simple as you have hot water. But every single night, build on that before you go to sleep and think about all the things that you're grateful before you go to sleep. That's huge because you know what? You go to bed with a grateful heart and you wake up with a grateful heart.
So I'm gonna piggyback off this. If you keep hearing me talk about journaling and Crystal, or if you've been thinking about it, there's a perfect way to get started. Okay, everybody's like, "Oh, I don't write. I don't have a novel." You don't need that. Here's three things. Ready? First thing is this: what's the worst thing that I thought was going to be? How bad it was going to be today? Write it down. This is something that weighed on me in the morning. What I thought was going to be terrible. Number two, how did it really turn out? Chances are it didn't turn out nearly as bad as you thought. And then number three, finish with gratitude. Whether it was because that wasn't as bad as you thought or something that really worked today. Start with those three things. What was the first thing that I thought was going to go bad today? And write it down. How did it really go? And then follow with something that you're grateful for. Start there. I promise you, if you start with those three things, by the end of it, you'll be writing paragraphs and you'll go into it. But that's a great way to get you in because you finish with gratitude every single time.
Gratitude is where it's at. It's where everything is created. Everything that you're grateful for, you get 10 times more of it. So, yeah.
100%. Well, anything you want to add on to this before we wrap up for this week?
No, I think I've said a lot today, John. I'm tired of talking. No kidding.
Again, I can't thank you enough for coming in. I'm hoping that you're enjoying these and that we'll keep this going. And welcome to the Health Tech and Wellness Podcast as we get going along and we make this more ours. Everybody, just make sure you're listening along because if the name changes, I don't want you to lose us. But again, thank you so much. I really think that this is going to be huge. I'm learning a lot from you. I'm going to definitely start your goal setting and I'm not talking about a goal of do this many reps, this many sets, but can I beat last week?
Competition, baby.
And you're going to send me this hyper walking thing. And so, yeah, guys, again, thank you so much. And is that something that's like on YouTube?
Yes, YouTube.
It is on there? Okay. So once she sends me Miracle Mile, once she sends me the link, I will put it in the show notes. I'll probably even pin it in the comments. So check in there. Again, if you guys are enjoying these first couple with me and Crystal, please throw us a comment. And again, if everything is, you're loving these things, like, share, follow, let everybody know. And as always, stay healthy, stay balanced, and moving forward. We'll see you next time.